Now, to the next poll question that I asked: could you stay with a cheating spouse? And 27% of you said yes, and 73% of you said no. Well, I had a cheating spouse, and let me tell you about that situation. So was 28 years old when I got married to my husband. We had met online. We actually met through Black Planet. He was in the military. He actually was stationed in England when we met. And this was a man who courted me. Like, he was sending me flowers when he was stationed in England because I had a bad day. And when we decided that, you know what, we were going to make this a thing, you know what, he was in the military, so clearly his life wasn't going to move. So I got up and I said, okay, let's try to make this work. So now this is 2007. I get there in 2007. So at this point, I'm 27 years old. And I remember saying to him, I'm not silly enough to think that you were just sitting here waiting for me, and that you were basically keeping your penis in your pants. Like, I've never been disillusioned to think that like a man is really just sitting here twiddling away, waiting with a prayer, Bible, and candles, like waiting for me for anything. Like, I just, as great as a woman as I think I am, I'm also a very realistic person. But what I did say to him is, the moment I get off of this plane, whatever you are doing, you wrap it up. Any woman that you've been talking to, whatever your situation is, shut that down, because you have asked me to be here and to be with you, and all of that needs to stop. He never admitted and said he was doing anything. It's not like I had any suspicions of anything, but I wanted to be very clear about what my expectations were. I said, the moment you know that plane has landed, everything has to stop. He said, okay. I get there. This is October of 2007. We actually fast forward to May of 2008. We get married like 7 months later. So we fast forward a bit. I was going back and forth between Toronto and Las Vegas at the time. And while I am here in Toronto, I get a phone call from him telling me that he has a baby. A baby. I remember, like, I'm a baby. What do you mean you have a baby? We got married in May. This phone call was because I got back to Toronto in July, and I'm hearing about a baby. So I'm like, okay, you have a baby. Tell me about this baby. And this is when the story goes in, and he tells me about the fact that the night of his bachelor party, he had ran into a woman that he had been messing around with, who had told him that she had given birth to a child that was his. And he failed to come home and tell me clearly the night before we get married that there was a woman who had had a baby 6 weeks prior to our wedding date. So the baby was born like March the 30th, and we got married on May the 17th. So he would have seen her May the 16th, right? So basically 6 weeks. And so now I guess here it is July, and the woman has filed. I think she had gone to the military, because for those of you who don't know, you tell the military there's a baby, there's a mandatory DNA test before a child can be put on military benefits. The military gives families a ton of money, and they're not going to be giving money to illegitimate children, right? They need to prove that the baby is this person's before they are going to go ahead and give you child support and all the medical benefits that you get. And so all of this had happened. She had reached out to him in the military and all of this. The DNA test was on the way, and bingo bango, found out it is his baby. And I say, okay. I'm 2 months into this marriage. On a technicality, you did not cheat on me, because if I do the math and calculate it backwards, I was still in Toronto, Canada when she got pregnant. And so therefore, she was part of the past that you were supposed to wrap up. You probably should have wrapped up your peen, because now there's a baby. But here I am your wife. I am in this marriage and we're going to figure it out. I get back. And I think within a month of me now being back in Vegas, one day we get into an argument. He does not come home. And then I get a phone call from the mother of the child telling me, I'm just going to fast forward the story, telling me that my husband had just left her house to go to work. And, do I know that she has this baby and this child is his and all of this different crap, right? And I remember having this conversation with this woman. And I won't say, actually, I didn't have a conversation with this woman. I remember this woman having a conversation with me. So imagine you are the wife of a man who has just cheated, and the mistress, the other woman, has called you, and this is me literally on the phone. She's talking, and I'm like, and I'm just letting her get whatever she wants to get out. And she's got a family member in the background who's like, girl, what the hell are you doing? Like, get off the phone with this man's wife. And I'm like, okay. And when she was done, I said, are you done? And she said, yes. And I said, thank you for the information. I'm going to call my husband now. And I still can remember the shock and awe in her voice, because I wasn't cursing her out. I wasn't calling her out her name. I wasn't going on bad, as Jamaicans would say. I wasn't doing any of that. I let her get out whatever it is she felt that she needed to tell me. And then I called my husband, because to me, that was the appropriate response. This woman owed me nothing. My husband to her was fair game, because he is the one that forgot his vows. And why am I going to be mad at another woman that my husband forgot his vows as he was sweating on top of her? Because he was mad at me. So that's one of the lessons I want us to think about, is when this happens to us, if you feel that there's blame to be had, keep the blame on the right person. The only person that owes us anything in a cheating situation is the person that we have committed ourselves to, whether that is officially in a marriage like I was in, or it is in an exclusive relationship. The other person owes you nothing. Your partner was fair game. I am not cursing on another woman. I'm not about to throw up and show up somewhere and try to beat some woman. I'm not doing any of that. Because at that moment, the only person that I needed to speak to was my husband.